Today we are looking at New Gods, issue 8, from the original New Gods series by Jack Quimby. A lot of people have opinions on this. The overall consensus on this series is that, while ambitious, it is underwhelming. I always believe in giving things more thought than simply writing it off like that. There are some great ideas and even some great characters in New Gods. And this issue here introduces my favourite of the New Gods characters. Straight away too. The New Gods are split between the handsome, good-natured ones who live on New Genesis and the evil, grotesque ones who live on Apocalypse. We are on Apocalypse right now, with its toad-faced New Gods. And it is a character called Mark Moonrider, to whom we are being introduced. He is wearing the green and yellow battlesuit, fighting his fellow New Gods. And Mark Moonrider is an outcast among the monstrosities on Apocalypse. He is rejected because, unlike the others on Apocalypse, he is normal looking. He looks like he belongs on New Genesis rather than Apocalypse. He is the only one on Apocalypse who isn't a freak or a creature, and as such he is treated and spoken of as if he is the monster, and he is the ugliest deformity ever. He believes this to be the case. He believes himself to be hideous and an abomination. Of all Jack Quimby's New Gods characters, I think this is the one with the most to the strongest hook, the most story potential, even the most character presence. That was something I recognised about the New Gods more recently. The best of the New Gods are the ones with a character trait. Big Barda likes to party, and she is the only main character in New Gods with an actual personality like that. Unsurprisingly, Big Barda is one of the New Gods with the most appearances over the years. If you can tell me a single character beat or reason to invest in Orion, I'm all ears. But that the majority of the main characters here have little in the ways of hooks or personalities is what I would say is the chief reason New Gods didn't work as well as Etermals did at DC. Mark Moonrider isn't a main character. He is in these 2 issues, and then he appears in the series afterwards. But him not being a main character has the knock-on effect of him often not being used afterwards. Mark Moonrider, I would say, doesn't really go anywhere. And it is a shame because he's miles and miles away the most compelling and exciting New God who isn't Big Barda. Elsewhere we have Beautiful Dreamer and Desard, and they have a hook which is the Romeo and Juliet angle. Beautiful Dreamer is from New Genesis, but Desard is from Apocalypse. They are attracted to each other. With most these New Gods, We are dealing with very simple and singular character points like that. I don't know why one wouldn't merge Big Barda and Beautiful Dreamer and have one fuller character. Speaking of, here is Big Barda, the one character from the New Gods who does have a big history to her. She, of course, joins the Avengers in the 90s and is with them for several years. Easily the biggest of the New Gods. Probably why she is called Big Barda. To get back to the romance between Beautiful Dreamer and Desard, the forbidden love thing, I've never cared for it. I understand it. Again, it is one of the stronger hooks of the series. God, am I saying hook a lot in this video? But I feel Desard was and will be depicted as plainly evil too much to make it a reasonable pairing. They do eventually have two children that have been forgotten about and last appeared in 1997. Apocalypse over here. Jack Quimby's art in New Gods is strong. I don't think anyone complains about his art in it. Only the ideas. I should mention the area of contention with a lot of people is whether or not this is set in the Marvel Universe. Personally, I like it being part of the Marvel Universe. I don't think it was integrated well, but I like some of the continuity established. This series itself was not written as being in the Marvel Universe. There are SHIELD agents in issue 6, and that is the only thing making it seem that way. There is a Hulk robot later, but at no point in that do they say that Hulk is a real thing that exists. The robot could just be modelled off a comic book character. I think my biggest criticism of New Gods is there was very little story. In issues themselves and throughout the series, story was barely present. This one, for example, it is told across 2 issues, but the story, if you can really call it that, is that Mark Moonrider is fighting in the fire pits of Apocalypse. As a rejected outcast of his society, he is forced to battle others in an arena. And that is as much story as we have here. The rest is characters like Desard and Beautiful Dreamer saying themes as dialogues. Some quite bad Holocaust stuff thrown in there too. It is set in the Marvel Universe though, because look, here is Hulk and his fruit pies. They are in this one. So, Mark Moonrider, he is gunning to fight Big Bear, another New Gods character that has more going for him than the main ones. I don't know if I recommend it. It's not great to see Jack Quimby fumble a ball about for a bit. I like Mark Moonrider. I like Big Barda. Well, there's no story here. There's barely even set up for a story. 18 pages were not needed for something that really only introduced Mark Moonrider and then teased Big Bear on the final page. I do have to give it 7 thumbs up though.